Hi y'all, happy holidays. Thanks for stopping by and checking out my tutorial on how I made this miniature version of the Mickey Mouse blow mold snowman light. I've included a list of the materials needed. You can pause and write it down or take a little screenshot for a shopping list if you would like to make one as well. Here we go. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is create my base. I'm using a clear plastic ornament from the Dollar Tree along with this glass fish bowl from the Dollar Tree. That's going to be my snowman base. Now, I have Model Magic clay I'm using to make the Santa hat that's going to sit right on top of the snowman's head. Those other two round ones that I have down on the placemat, I was going to make them ears, but I ended up not liking them. They were too big, too heavy, or not big enough, but still too heavy. So I ended up trashing that idea, and I'll go over my mistakes as I learned as I went along this project. But for now, don't worry about those. Let's just make the top of the Santa hat. So we're just doing that little round bit on the top of his head, and now I'm going to create kind of like a triangle, maybe like a little ice cream cone shape, just the hat, a Santa hat. There you go. Hershey Kiss almost. And I'm just going to play around with it to get that shape that I want. And so now I'm just kind of putting that top on the base of my hat, on the top of the ball, just letting it rest on the fish bowl so I can kind of play around with the shape and get it to where I like, because whatever I leave it as is how it's going to dry. And I'm just making a little tiny ball, about a pea size, to put on the top there. Maybe it's a blueberry size actually. And now we're going to make the buttons on the glass. Now I found this Model Magic stuck so nice to the glass. I just took two little round pieces of it and I'm just placing on, flattening it out to make the little buttons. I'm using the cap to this marker. I'm just going to do a little imprint on it to give it an actual button shape. And this marker is from the Dollar Tree. It's one of the furniture markers. I love it because it is permanent marker and it comes out really nice. So here you can see the ears. I ended up not liking them. So after it dried a couple days, I took them off and I went a different route, and we will get to that. But for now, let's make the scarf. Now, Model Magic doesn't need to be glued on. It just stuck really well to the glass, so that was cool. I thought I'd have to take the piece off once it dried and E6000 it, but it stayed perfectly, so no need for that. So I'm just making the scarf. This is just the little accent piece that comes down. I definitely recommend pulling up a picture off of Google of the Mickey Mouse snow blow mold snowman, so that way you can look at it while you're making this, so you can be more accurate than what I'm doing. But I'm just kind of wrapping this tube around, like made a long snake of Model Magic. I'm just kind of flattening it around, and I'm gonna just rub the back piece so it's kind of seamless. But yeah, I'm just going around smoothing it out really nicely, and then I'll go in later with a little knife and do the details. But now I'm just kind of trying to shape this Model Magic to make it look more like a scarf. So now I'm just going to very gently twist and turn the head off so I can get it to come apart, so I can make sure that this is going to work out. But I'm just going to smooth that out a little bit. I was worried if it dried perfectly on the ornament, I would have a hard time taking it off to add the lights. So I just took it off and smoothed it out. And now with my little Dollar Tree knife, I'm just going in and kind of giving little details to the scarf, because I'm going to paint them. The original is green and red. I decided to go pink and red. So yeah, I'm just going and just scoring it very lightly around the entire ring where the scarf is. So now I'm just going to very lightly press the Mickey head back onto the scarf to make sure that it's going to fit nice. And now I'm scoring the buttons to give it a little bit more detail. Okay, so here's where the fun starts. I decided to go with these round, clear plastic ornaments. They're smaller than the head, obviously, and they come in a 2-pack at the Dollar Tree to make the ears. I had a bunch of trial and error for these ears, and this is what I ended up going with, and it was great. So I use a serrated knife to very carefully slice off the part of the ornament where you hang it. I don't know what that's called, but you know that part. And heated it with hot glue. Now, the hot glue will melt the ornaments. So it's kind of cool because you just heat it up, add that glue, and you could very gently, carefully place your ornament where you want it and just hold it, press firmly. Careful not to crack it, but just hold it and you can kind of see that plastic melting into shape. I think it looks so much better than the Model Magic ears. So now I'm just taking my knife and kind of clearing up that excess glue. Sorry, words are hard. Just kind of cleaning that up, but you're going to spray paint it. If it's not really clean, you will be able to see with the spray paint, but you know, not to worry. But anyway, so yeah, it just kind of melted them on. I thought, oh wow, wasn't expecting that, but a happy mistake. And now I'm ready to spray paint with Hobby Lobby Shortcuts white paint. I just took it outside, wore my mask, my little spray painting mask, and gave it a very light coat of paint. Now these are battery operated lights from the Dollar Tree. I am using 2 of them. They take AA batteries, I believe. AAA. Just check on the pack because I think they're all different. But batteries are from Dollar Tree as well. And I like these because they're LED and they don't get hot, which is really great. And this type of light that's constricted, you don't want it to heat up. So these are good ones. And I'm just putting it up in the top bulb and the bottom. And now you can see it lights up. So cute. And now for the detail, using acrylic craft paint from Hobby Lobby. And I'm just going to go ahead and add the detail. I'm using the red paint first. I'm going to take my head off so I can paint the top of the Santa hat. So I did end up painting everything that was red. I did 2 coats because I wanted to make sure that the brush strokes in the paint wasn't that obvious. So just once one coat dried, I went ahead and did another one really quickly, and just to brighten up that red. And so I painted the buttons red, the hat red, and then every other stripe in his little scarf. So I did purchase the green paint. I like working with enamel paint when I can because it has really great coverage. But ultimately, this is for my daughters. They love pink. So I went ahead and did his scarf pink and red. So any colors you want to do, if you want to do team colors, you know, your favorite colors, this is yours to make. So customize it any way you'd like. This is what it looks like with the light pink. So using that same light pink paint, I'm going to go ahead and give him some rosy cheeks. A little bit of blush on Mickey. So while his little face is drying, I'm going to go ahead and add that white detail. I realized I guess I didn't need to really score it, but just using white craft paint, I went ahead and did that little X on the buttons. So now I'm going to start on the scary part, which is painting the face. I'm just using black enamel craft paint. I'm going to do his nose first. I start with the smaller shape and then I can always just add to it, but doing a horizontal, skinny oval, kind of like the shape of a black bean, it looks like, for his nose. I'm nervous to paint the eyes, but I'm just going to go ahead and wing it. And, you know, once you paint it on there, it's on there. And if you mess up, oof, well, it's going to look funny when the light comes on in the back. So just be really careful if you want to start, if you want to do maybe with a pencil, you can. I was so nervous to do the face, but we managed and he turned out super cute. Now for his little mouth, I'm going in with a pen. Just going to do his little smile part and then add his mouth in. Okay, I don't know why I was so nervous to paint his face on, but it ended up working out after I was finished drawing it on with the marker. No, it's not perfect, but it's okay. It's a DIY version of this, you know, mass-made blow mold, so it'll be fine. But I went ahead and took a detail brush and just painted over his mouth with the skinniest paintbrush I could find and that black enamel paint. So that's all. All right, thanks for hanging in there with this pretty long DIY. Lots of steps here, but here's Mickey. I think he's looking pretty cute. The only thing I want to go ahead and do is add some detail in his eyes to make it a little bit shiny, because on the blow mold, it is three-dimensional, so it does have that little bit of detail. So I just found what I had. If you have a white paint or a white paint pen, I am using a chalk marker from the Dollar Tree. It worked. But here he is in all of his little light up miniature glory. I think he came out pretty cute. My daughters love him, and I have him right now in their little playhouse that we keep in our kitchen. But anyways, it's like a Mickey Mouse themed bakery in there. So this is sitting up on their little pink kitchen, and I think it just looks super cute. What do you think?